Hello and welcome to our lesson today. Today we are going to do the 5 must-know movable chord shapes. I hope you have an idea of them. We talked about them last time. We talked about the cage system, but today we are going to build on it more. But before we get there, we are going to do a recap of what we did last time. We did the scales. We picked 2 shapes. We said if you start with the small finger, the shape goes like this. And if you start with the second finger, it goes like small finger again. It doesn't matter where you start, the shape remains. Okay, and the second one, it's the same thing. It doesn't matter where you start, the shape remains. There was an exception on the second and the third string where you have to move everything half a step forward because of the relationship of the strings. So today we are going to move the chords, all of the chords. These 5 shapes are very important because using them, you can create all the other chords that you need. The first shape we are going to do will be the C shape. And out of the C shapes, we are going to derive many other chords as we move forward or as we transpose everything up the neck. So the C shape comes from the C chord. So I hope you remember the shape. It's like this. So out of this shape, if we move it forward, then we can get other chords. To move it forward, we have to change our fingering to this one, so that the free finger now can move forward and block and fret this hand here. So if this is C, then when we move forward, then this becomes C sharp. If we move forward again, it becomes D. Now this is D in C shape. So remember, we are dealing with a shape, not the chord itself, a shape. So when you memorize this shape, it means you can derive chords from it. If I come here, I have a D, an E I mean. I move like that, I can have an F, and so forth. So you just need to move this shape forward and use the remaining finger to fret. Sometimes you see people using the capo. You just use the capo here and you just play the same shape. Meaning, the guitar now it's like it starts from here. So the more you move this way now, you raise the tone of the guitar, you change to you transpose to another key. The best thing about the guitar, it's like it's shape driven. So once you know one shape, you can use it in very many different ways and come up with different songs, or you can play different tunes in different keys without a problem. The second shape we are going to deal with is the D shape. The D shape is like this, comes from this shape. Again, so that we are able to move forward, we need to change our fingering to this one. Remember, the D shape starts from the 4th string. So when I move forward, it's like this finger was here now. When I move forward to here, then this one goes here. And the system continues the same way. So if this was D, then I change the fingering, move forward, becomes D sharp. Then if I move forward again, it becomes an E. Now this is an E in D shape. So this system is used to build chords. Don't think of it as the name associated with the chord. Just think of it as a system to transpose your chord and move them up the fret. It gives you a very easy way to derive chords on the fretboard, no matter which shape you are using. And from that knowledge now, remember, if you know the chord families, you can pick the chords that you need to use and play a song we are using the cage system. So the first chord, the acronym caged is used to transpose chords up the fingerboard. I'm going to show you how we do that. So the first shape to spell the name is C. So we go with C shape. From the C shape, so the next shape will be A shape. So the A shape, I hope you remember our chords. The A shape was like this. You remember the chord A. So the A shape comes from the chord A. So this chord, this string is open, string number 5. So when I move forward, I fret with this one here. Now that becomes B flat. I go one more step. That becomes B. I move one more step. Now that becomes C. So that is a C in A shape. And so forth and so forth. That is a D. So you can see using this system you can get any chord, and you just need to move your fingers and position them in exactly what you need. So usually the roots are on either the 6th, the 5th or the 4th strings. So guided by those strings you can know the root of where you are, because you always start at the root using this system. So the next shape will be G shape. So you get our chord G. Initially we were fingering it like this. Now we change the fingering to this, so that this finger can be free to fret again. So when I move this one here, this finger comes here. On the front here is usually hard to fret, so if I move a little bit further, you will hear the sound. Oh, again. So likewise, this was G. You move forward, you have a G sharp, you have an A, a B. So you just use the C shape, the G shape, the way you are using, then you fret here. On this guitar, normally you'll see people using a capo. So when you use a capo now, it helps you to know, if I use this shape here, it doesn't mean that I'm in G, it means now I'm in A, now my capo will be here. So yeah, knowing this system can help you to play in different keys without changing much, or without learning much of new things, but using the same shapes. The next one will be E. You remember our E was like this. The root is on the 6th. So when I move it forward, I change the fingering. When I move it forward, this finger falls here. Now that becomes an F, F sharp, G, G sharp or A flat. Then we come to A, B flat, B, then like that up to C. So you can see how easy it is to just use one shape and come up with different chords. The last one to finish our acronym caged will be D. So this is chord D. So again we change the fingering. We leave this finger free. We move this one forward. Then we fret here. We move again forward. We fret here. And so forth. So that will be, this was D. Now this is D sharp or E flat. So next one will be E automatically. So that this is E now in D shape. So you can see the shape gives you, the movement, the transposition gives you a very easy way to move across the fretboard. So I'll recap again based on the roots of the chords. On the 6th string, we have two shapes. We have E shape and G shape. So when you see the root here on the top string, you either go for this shape or you go for this shape. For G shape, then you transpose in the same way, which is usually a little bit hard. On the acoustic guitar, that's why you see people using the capo a lot. On the 5th string, you have two shapes, which is C and A. So you have this one. So when you see a root here, always you go for this shape or for this shape. C or A. When you see the root on the fourth string, now that is automatically D, because there is no other in this system. There is no other root on the fourth string. So sometimes you will see people cut off this E. So it might be correct to say this E can be changed to this shape here, this E shape. So when you see an F comes from the E shape, but it's cut off. So sometimes you find if somebody doesn't want to do the barcode like this for the F, they just go for the bottom part. So now that introduces another root here, which is still in the E shape. So I'll recap again. On the sixth string, you have two shapes, that is E and G. On the A string, which is the fifth string, you have C, either C or A shape. And on the fourth string, you'll have D. And sometimes, depending if you have cut the E shape, you can have the E shape there. So I hope you understand that. And if you have any question about the cage system and how it can help you grow you and help you play the guitar better, you can ask the question, and we are going to answer you. Thank you so much.